Good afternoon. Welcome to the May 17th Bucks County Commissioners meeting. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Obviously coming to you at a different time than usual. It was past practice at the county for a long time that when there was an election on Tuesday and the next day was a meeting day, as this one is, that because of all the work the staff puts in, because of the early hours, I mean, people here till well past midnight, expecting them to come in and be ready for meetings immediately as soon as they, didn't really seem fair. We obviously didn't follow that as we probably should have over the last couple of years when we've had some meetings right after elections. And so this is more kind of the way things used to go, and something that I think does make some sense to thank our staff for all the work they did by at least giving them a little bit of a respite in the morning. So coming to you today a little bit more in the afternoon. We have some presentations, as you can see on the agenda. We're going to start with some employee recognition. We've been doing this, recognizing employees who reach certain milestones in their length of service. And I know we have, I think, one employee here, and we have a couple others. So I'm going to start just naming the two who I don't think are here, because we have something for each of them. And I believe everybody's with the Department of Corrections. So we want to thank and recognize Donald R. Connor III and Valenta Duncan, both for 20 years of service. And we are, I think, joined, I believe, by T.N. Davis, who is here. So, Ms. Davis, again, 20 years of service, Department of Corrections. So, welcome to come forward. Oh yeah, sure. You could have said something too if you wanted to. Thank you. I think we gotta take your picture. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to thank all of you for taking time today to acknowledge my years of service. Today, I'm proud because it's an opportunity for me to shine. I have worn many hats: a mother, a wife, daughter, sister, friend, and correctional officer. And today, I get to sit all of those hats aside except for one and be recognized for being an educated Black woman in a male-dominated environment, for achieving an honor for 20 years of service. I have faced lots of negativity, adversity, and judgment, but thanks to being raised by a wonderful mother, she taught me you can achieve anything you want with education, hard work, honesty, and strong will. My class had 17 people in it, and I stand here by myself 20 years later, proud and healthy. When I first started, it was only 4 other women that looked like me in my department, and I fought hard to break through glass ceilings and doors so other women can get into the door and have the same opportunities as me. So I'm glad to be an example for those who walk in the building behind me every day and can see that you can achieve such things as I am today. Lastly, I want to take time to give thanks to my mother, Joanne, my 2 children, Cameron and Taylor, and my village who supported me, so I'm able to stand here and speak to you all about my work's journey. I would also like to give thanks to Mom Polson, Margaret Polson, Robin McCullough, and Rebecca Mitchell, who are Black women that have started in the building before me and have taught me and supported me throughout my correctional career. Your work and support is acknowledged, and today it will be forever appreciated. So in closing, thank everyone so much for your time, thought, and acknowledgement for my service today in the County of Bucks.
Nice. Nice. Thank you.
And thank you very much. And if anyone's interested in working with Ms. Davis, I know Corrections is always looking for employees. Certainly welcome to follow in the door behind her, as she certainly paved a way. So appreciate you being here, and thank you again for your service. For the last few years, the county has partnered with the intermediate unit on a project which is called Project Search. And this is something that really, I remember Commissioner Marseglia organizing a meeting about, before the pandemic started, about how we could work with the intermediate unit and bring students into the building, and our buildings, I should say, and give them life experiences and help them, prepare for life when they left school, working in county offices, and it's been, a tremendous success to the point where the DA's office has hired someone from the project. I think even before the program was over, the DA's office had hired somebody, and IT has hired somebody. So it's worked very, very well, and we're proud that they're sort of finishing up another year as we come up here. And so we have David Fox here from Project Search to talk about the program, and we thank him for being here.
Thank you, Commissioner Harvey. Good afternoon. My name is David Fox, and I work for the Bucks County Intermediate Unit. I'm joined here today by my colleague, Lori McCrory, and soon to be my other colleague, Rebecca Pinto, who is getting the guys on the bus to go home, to honor our wonderful Bucks County Commissioners and our amazing Chief Operating Officer, Ms. Margie McKevitt. We do so as representatives of Project Search, a vocational program for adults aged 18 to 21 with a goal of competitive employment. Project Search is a partnership between the Bucks County IU, the Bucks County government, the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, the Pennsylvania Department of Labor, and local school districts. Each year in this program, a new class of interns joins our ranks to work side by side in Bucks County governmental departments to build skills which they will use at the end of the year to secure employment in their communities. Project Search is an international program and the first of its kind here in Bucks County. We have been wildly successful, and none of it would be possible without these venerable honorees. The program has been nothing short of life-changing, and those are words from interns that have come through here in the past using the words life-changing, because it is indeed the case. The four of you have not only had a hand in that, you are the reason for that. The vision and foresight displayed by these honorees to bring this program to life benefits the interns, their families, and their communities as a whole. People with disabilities can accomplish anything if given the opportunity. Thank you for that opportunity. So it is for occasions like these that Bucks IU Executive Director, Dr. Mark Hoffman, reinstituted the Caring Community Awards. The award honors selfless commitment to the students and programs of the Bucks County Intermediate Unit. I think it's safe to say that those awards are well-deserved. It is our honor and privilege to present Commissioner Diane Marseglia, Commissioner Robert Harvey, Commissioner Dean DiGirolamo, and Chief Operating Officer Margie McKevitt with Bucks County Intermediate Caring Community Awards.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We had.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
There's also social, and there's a little thing in there about it, and it's next week. So
That's great. Thank you so much.
thank you so much from all of us.
Thank you. This was wonderful.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you for what you do.
Okay. Also on our agenda here for recognition is Older Americans Month. And Commissioner DiGirolamo has a proclamation he will read. And just in case you're wondering, he actually volunteered to read this one. We didn't just automatically give it to him, so, you know.
Thank you. Whereas Bucks County is home to more than 165,000 individuals ages 60 and over who should be commended for their role in contributing to the enduring fiber of our communities and nation, thus making the country a great place and, county a great place and country in which to live and age well. May 2023 marks the 58th anniversary of the signing of the Older American Act of 1965, which has provided compassionate and vital social services to millions of older Americans through its many diverse programs. The month of May is recognized nationally as Older Americans Month under this year's theme, Aging Unbound. This theme offers an opportunity to explore diverse aging experience and discuss how communities can combat stereotypes. It focuses on promoting flexible thinking about aging and how we all benefit when older adults remain engaged, independent, and included. 2023 is also the 50th anniversary of the Bucks County Area Agency on Aging, whose mission is to develop, coordinate, and promote the continuum of quality services that supports, respects, and advocates for older adults and their families, empowers them to maintain independence and dignity, and enhances their overall well-being. Now, therefore, do we, the Bucks County Board of Commissioners, Chair Robert Harvey, Vice Chair Diane Ellis Morseglia, and myself, Gene DiGirolamo, hereby proclaim May 2023 as Older Americans Month throughout the County of Bucks. We urge every resident to take time during this month to acknowledge older adults and the people who serve them as influential and vital parts of our community. In so doing, we recognize the efforts of the Bucks County Area on Aging in helping to maintain the quality of life that older Bucks County residents so richly deserve. And I would just like to give my mom a shout out. She will be 95 years old on May 27th in a couple of weeks and still living in her own home and doing very, very well. And she continues to give me a hard time almost every day, which is her prerogative. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And we do have Kathy Bennett here from the Area Agency on Aging, as well as some of her team. So come on up.
I feel like I'm in church when you come, when you go in the evening to an event and you just end up saying good morning, no matter, because you're just used to saying that, so I have to stop myself. Good afternoon, commissioners. I'd like to introduce some of the folks that are up here with me. This is Tammy Mancuso, who's on our advisory council. And then these are two of my deputy directors. This is Karen Tinney, who is in charge of long-term care services, and Wanda Ritter, who is in charge of public affairs. So I want to thank you, commissioners, for this opportunity to recognize Older Americans Month and the many contributions of seniors in our county. As you mentioned, there's about 165,000 seniors in Bucks County. That represents 25% of our population in Bucks County. But what's interesting is in the next 5 years, that's expected to go up to 30%. So the aging population is definitely increasing. Generally, most people fear as they get older that they will need to go to a nursing home. In actuality, only about 4% of seniors live in nursing facilities. So therefore, 96%, I did the math, 96% of seniors live in their homes or in the community with their families. Long-term care facilities, of course, are extremely important and providing services to seniors, but I did just want to take a minute to focus on the seniors living in their own communities where the majority of our seniors live. And this ties in very nicely to the theme that you mentioned in the proclamation about aging unbound. The theme encourages us to examine the fact that there is a wide range of aging experiences and that we all have an opportunity to pave our own ways as we age. We can do that with in our community for our seniors by not limiting our thinking about aging, exploring and combating stereotypes, emphasizing the many positive aspects of aging, inspiring older adults to push past traditional boundaries. I don't know if you happen to see but Martha Stewart at 81 is in the front page of the Sports Illustrated, so you just never know. We can all, though, push those traditional boundaries and embracing our community's diversity. We at the Bucks County Area Agency on Aging work hard to support our seniors to stay engaged in the community in a variety of ways through involvement at one of the 13 senior centers, encouraging seniors to volunteers, lots of opportunities, providing supports and services in the home, and offering help to caregivers, just to name a few. And as you mentioned, this is also our 50th anniversary for the agency. The current staff and management, as well as the numerous former staff and directors, have done remarkable work to assist seniors in our community grow older with dignity, with respect, and with the ability that they can make their own choices. We feel very honored to do this work, and we thank the commissioners for your support through all these years and in the years to come. Aging, if we are lucky, is in everyone's future. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there a video? Is there a video as well? Okay, yeah, we can do the video.
The Bucks County Area Agency on Aging started really back in the mid-60s when a woman by the name of Peggy O'Neill was working for Neshaminy Manor. And she was noticing that there were seniors in the nursing home facility that really, with some supports, could live at home.
The Area Agency on Aging in Bucks County has been here for 5 decades, ever since the Older Americans Act was passed in 1973. And our goal is to make sure that we connect you with the resources you need.
Whether you're a 50-year-old struggling to care for your mother or your father who's in their 80s, or if you yourself just need a home-delivered meal, we're here for you.
For the work that we do in our agency, we could not work in a microcosm. We have to partner and work with other entities to really meet the total needs of a senior in Bucks County.
We're here to protect you, but we're also here to refer you to departments, to agencies, to all kinds of senior centers that exist throughout Bucks County.
We are the first stop in the continuum of care for seniors. So when somebody comes to a senior center, they know they're coming to a trusted source for information, and that we don't have a bias at all, that we just want to get them connected and get them the information and the resources that they need to be able to stay at home and stay independent.
I'm 84 years old, and this senior center has done so much for me that I can't even remember. Anything I ever asked them to do, it was done. I just don't know how to put it into words. It's just extremely good.
I love working with seniors. They work really hard all their lives, and they deserve this. They deserve to be well fed. They deserve nutritious meals. They deserve company.
Sometimes it's really hard to ask for help, but as we get older, there are things that provide challenges for us that we never had to encounter before. And it's okay to call us and just find out what it is that we provide and might be a support to you.
So we're here participating in an expo today to give education to the public on frauds, scams, abuse, neglect, financial exploitation.
Currently, we have the Bucks County District Attorney attending. We have NOVA, the Victim Witness Assistance Program, attending, and the Area Agency on Aging, along with the Consumer Protection Department.
And it's more about just prevention. We just want to get awareness out there that, you know, these scams are happening within Bucks County, not just in major cities, but it affects Bucks County a lot.
It takes a village to care for the older adults of Bucks County. Not one person can know it all, and not one person can bring you to a better place in your life.
The services that people need today are very different than what was available in 1973. For example, we have a Senior Connect program that helps connect people to technology. That was not anything that anybody thought about in 1973 or even in the 80s.
We give them these beautiful Samsung tablets. I will set up their Gmail account, I will set up the tablet, I will then see what needs they want.
And as funding sources change, we're going to change as well. And as the needs change, we will be there to try to meet the needs of seniors in Bucks County.
A big thank you to the Area Agency on Aging.
You do so much for the senior residents of Bucks County, our parents, our grandparents, our friends. Thank you.
I know the services they provide for seniors to age in place, to stay in their home, has really improved the quality of Bucks County.
And so please don't be shy to give us a call and to let us know if there's any way that we can be of assistance to you or to your family members.
If you have any questions, please call the Area Agency on Aging. And one more thing, happy anniversary, Area Agency on Aging. Happy 50 years.
Happy 50th, AAA. Thank you from Veterans Affairs.
Happy 50th, Area Agency on Aging.
Congratulations to the 50th anniversary. What great work they do.
Happy anniversary, Area Agency on Aging. Thank you for everything you do.
Happy 50th, Area Agency on Aging. And 50 years more. We do a lot of work here, and I'm so privileged to be in this department. I am really excited to be a part of the Area Agency on Aging during their 50th anniversary.
We need to continue for the next 50 years looking at those needs and really trying to come up with ways to more creatively meet the needs of seniors. And we want to be there for them for that at least the next 50 years to assist them.
Awesome, that's great. Yeah, so thank you, and come on up, we have the proclamation, summer proclamation for you. Thank you.
Can I give a shout out to Charlotte Reese for putting that video together? She did
And the senior games are coming, right? Was it next week? Kickoff is next Wednesday. Senior games. Thank you. All right, final presentation is Community Action Month, and Commissioner Marseglia has a proclamation to read.
Thank you. And whereas the Bucks County Opportunity Council, Bucks County's nonprofit community action agency, has, since 1965, been advocating for under-resourced residents of Bucks County so that they may have opportunities to leave poverty. And whereas the Opportunity Council is the authority on addressing poverty in Bucks County, promoting economic stability to make stronger communities, ensuring that all Bucks County residents are able to live with dignity. And whereas community action agencies address the social determinants of health informed by regular community needs assessments to understand the needs of the most vulnerable in every community. And whereas the Opportunity Council assisted 48,638 Bucks County residents last year and distributed 2.8 million pounds of food and helped 509 families avoid eviction and homelessness. And whereas 385 families and individuals have now graduated from the Opportunity Council's Economic Self-Sufficiency Program since 1997. And whereas BCOC envisions a vibrant organization and community where everyone can achieve economic security by acknowledging the need for racial equity to create systemic change. So now therefore do we, the Bucks County Board of Commissioners, hereby proclaim May 2023 as Community Action Month throughout the County of Bucks. And in so doing, we commend the hard work and dedication of the Bucks County Opportunity Council, the designated nonprofit community action agency for Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and we encourage all citizens in Bucks County and beyond to support BCOC and their efforts.
Thank you. And we have Director of, for BCOC, the Director of Community Engagement, Eileen Abelar is here, as well as PR and Communications Coordinator Connie McGarvey is here. And Erin's here. Oh, Erin's just here. Okay. I thought maybe, I saw Erin. I just, thought maybe you were sort of.
I drew the short straw, so I have to talk.
Well, you're the boss. You can make other people
Yes.
talk if you want to.
So I do have Eileen Albiar, who's our Director of Community Engagement, Connie McGarvey, who is our Coordinator of Communications, and Heather Ford, our Director of Client Services. First of all, thank you, Commissioners Harvey, Mark Seglia, and DiGirolamo for this proclamation and recognition of May as Community Action Month. You said it all in our proclamation, but I'm going to repeat it. People always ask, what is community action? Get that question everywhere we go. They don't really, haven't heard of it, don't know what we do or what community action is. But really, we are the authority on addressing poverty. BCOC is part of a network of over 1,000 community action agencies across the country working to reduce poverty at the local level. Each agency is uniquely addressing the social determinants of health through various programming informed by regular community needs assessments. We do a community needs assessment every 3 years to gauge what is needed in the community and put our funding towards those efforts. And it is to understand the needs of the most vulnerable in our community. Our mission at BCOC is to reduce poverty and partner with the community to promote economic self-sufficiency. And this past year, we did assist more than 48,000 people with food, rent, utilities, transportation assistance, tax preparation, and home energy conservation. We worked in partnership with many provider agencies in Bucks, along with the Departments of Housing and Human Services, Corrections, and Adult Probation, and many others. We definitely don't do this work alone. We work with many partners. Just this past April, we celebrated 12 families who achieved economic self-sufficiency, which means that they achieved a job at a living wage and no longer need government support. In this county, that's a huge feat for people to gain employment at a living wage. Our living wage is substantial in Bucks County, depending on family size, but it is substantial, and our graduates increased their income from about $14,000 a year annually to over $50,000 a year annually. In total, we've helped more than 1,000 people break the cycle of poverty, and we do it just one family at a time. So I just want to thank you for your continued support of BCOC, and thank you for this recognition. And we're going to get back to work, helping people and changing lives, but I think we have a video as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very happy to be here this morning with all of you, and I'm proud to showcase our amazing accomplishments from last year.
Our folks did 1,150 tax returns. That's $2.5 million in saved fees, refunds, and credits.
We helped over 768 individuals.
We have distributed over 2.8 million pounds of food this past year.
In the ES program, we had 15 graduates. The average annual salary increased over $35,000 a year.
Last year, we helped over 48,000 people through our services. I am proud of our team and of our county for their response, positive attitude, and respect for this community. We are community action, helping people and changing lives every day.
Sweet, okay. All right, well, please, here, thank you. Come on up. As you heard Kathy Bennett say earlier, she was leaving, you're thanking, or after the video, thanking Charlotte Reese, who is in our communications department, for her role in doing that, with really thanking communications. They're the ones, especially Charlotte, who helped put together these presentations, get the accommodations ready and proclamations ready, and make all the contacts, make sure everybody's gonna be here, et cetera. So thank you, and the whole department, but thank you, especially Charlotte for the work she does. All right, we're gonna move to public comments. This is agenda items. Reminding speakers to focus on a specific item in the agenda. First name we have on the list is Ed Mackhouse.
Hello, Ed Mackhouse, Buckingham, former scientist, engineer, and I'd like to address agenda item 10 on health first. It's about to approve the increase and extension of federal immunization grant of $372,000. So that sounds good to get $372,000, but I'd like to question the effectiveness of the vaccines. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Democrat candidate for president, believes that the vaccines are harmful, and none of the vaccines have passed the test, that they have less than 1 death per million. So I think we should look into other means of presenting diseases. There's no magic cure or vaccine or drugs to prevent any disease. The first thing would be getting a positive attitude, and maybe stretching, exercises, and diet are the first things that we should look for our health, and not a magic vaccine to solve everything. The next thing is on item 5, intercultural works, $93,000, the county, for next phase of the Bucks County Diversity and Inclusion Program. I think this program is limited. I think it should be open so people could see what the effectiveness is. I think that we need a balance. There's a lot of conflicts in this country. The people united cannot be defeated. I think there's divisions left and right. I think conservative people feel that we're being excluded. Candace Owens, Kathy Barnett, there are conservative blacks that I don't think are listened to properly. So I think we should have, as far as books, we should have a balance of conservative books as well as other books. And so intercultural works, inclusion, I think we need to include all different ideas and groups and not think that there's a magic thing and condemn people being racist or something. They have some kind of disagreements. And I don't think that the extension of sexual rights, I think that's harmful to women, that they have to compete with biological men in the showers and sports. And I think this inclusion, we should include basic facts that an aroused biological male might want to be with the females in the shower. But I don't think that's the type of inclusion we need. It's terrorizes women, and we shouldn't have innocent people being attacked and attack the police for trying to defend innocent people, like in the cities. We had Black Lives Matter and George Floyd, but I think this hasn't brought America together. Thank you.
Okay. Next name on the list is Scott Vogan.
Scott Vogan, Warrington Township. Can you explain to me what the Bucks County Rangers are? Is that the Benevolent Association? Is that the union for the park rangers? Because it just says Bucks County Rangers. In regards to family services and Lenape and all that, I still want to know if there's anything in the grant or funding arrangements that make sure that the Bucks County residents are getting serviced. And they're not being told they're not welcome just for any odd reason. I do know there might be some ethical reason, but that should be a very high criteria, because if we're going to be giving taxpayer money, in my advocacy of mental health, I know a lot of people that are being turned away for nonsensical reasons. Like I said, I see Lenape, and I see that. And the other, do I have any other ones? Oh yeah, under Park and Recreation for the Friends of Churchville Nature Center. Is there any funding involved with this license, or is this just some sort of an agreement? Because it's a great program. I just wanted to know if there's any funding, and have they done a study on if an observatory down there is going to be effective? Because I know there's a lot of light pollution in that area, and that's what I'm all for this, but I just want to know what mitigation standards they took to address any problems to make this observatory, as it's written in the agenda, a valid and very good tool for people. And is it going to be for adults, or is this something that the center itself is going to plan? So, thank you.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I do have regular public comment.
Sure, thank you. Beth Curcio?
Okay, D23, what is the Magic Charities? 3F, or 3, FG&I. What is a business association? No money noted at all, but what is that? 5A, $93,880, 100% county. I'd like a total for last year that was spent on that diversity inclusion program. Next phase, I want to know what that means. It's a total hoax, and it's a waste of taxpayer money, just like climate change, creating more government jobs for people that produce absolutely nothing. Creating teaching jobs for those who wouldn't take the time to develop their real skills and talents. You indoctrinate people that this is good, starting with the education system. It's all bull crap. Mr. Harvey, would you choose Dr. Ben Carson to be your physician if he was practicing, or would you choose from the stats of the diversity doctors? How about your pilots or your air traffic controllers? Maybe your dentist if you needed a root canal. 10A Health, brought to you by Pfizer, Moderna, etc. Would your politician insider trades to get rich? Federal immunization programs, send the money back. Send it back. Does this include COVID-19 or the preparation for the next pandemic to spread more fear? Fear not is in the Bible 365 times, people. Turn your TVs off and get busy saving your republic from power-hungry idiots. Has your health director read anything harmful effects of the vaccines? Maybe all you ought to start with this. Our world is getting sicker and sicker, and children are dying. How about this? Wrote, cause unknown. My neighbor almost dropped dead in December after the 4th shot. He's only 46. He couldn't make it today because of his health, but he will be here for his story. Has our health advisor read any of this? People are dying younger and younger. SIDS, another scam. Babies died. One was my nephew. Commissioners, read up yourself so you can be part of the solution. 11C, supportive services for Haven House. So the deep state in our government has our country invaded since they stole our country. They are now making our country a third world country. The money spent on human trafficking by the Uniparty for the power and money destroying our own country. Now we participate in more human suffering. The globalist movement by Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, and the World Economic Forum say you'll have nothing and be happy. You can all laugh, but go to their website. It says that. Is this the Bucks County, Pennsylvania, you want to leave your children and grandchildren? Is Bucks County a sanctuary city? 8A, please explain the drone program. Why is the insurance so high? What are we using them for? 4AB.
Okay, thank you. All right, just to address a couple of the questions. The vaccine program referenced, spoke to Dr. Damsker on Monday. This is a program that the Bucks County Health Department has done for a very, very, very long time. It actually includes 4 different things. First is a records review. We work with schools and child care facilities to help them review records of the students that they have to make sure their kids are up to date on their mandatory vaccines. Safety checks for doctors' offices, make sure the vaccines they have are stored properly. Certain vaccines have different storage requirements. It's vaccine education that's done through the Bucks County Health Department about the need for vaccines, their efficiency, efficacy, and actually then our immunizations themselves. There are children who qualify based on income level, their families, for immunizations, especially if they don't have insurance, which is obviously still a massive problem in this country. And certainly flu vaccines count as well. And certainly I think it's relatively simple to take a look at things like pertussis, diphtheria, and polio as clear proof that vaccines do work. They are not new. This is not some kind of brand new science that's come around in the past, like 3 days or something. So, I think that's pretty rock solid. Question about the rangers. Yes, the rangers that are referenced in the contract or in the bargaining unit agreement are the park rangers. In terms of services we provide through different agencies here with, not with outside vendors like Family Services and Lenape that are referenced, it is the job of our human services staff and others to make sure that the services being provided are done so effectively and efficiently. These contracts are renewed, as you should know if you come to these meetings, pretty regularly. And if the services were not being provided the way they're supposed to be provided, then we would be looking for somebody else to provide those services. Bucks County Opportunity Council is one of the ones that provides services every single day, and clearly, they're doing their jobs well. Park and Recreation is a question about the issue with Churchville Nature Center. Ms. Nagel, do you want to just comment on that?
So the observatory is a license agreement with the nonprofit at the Nature Center. There's no cost to the county. So the nonprofit is responsible for the permitting, the construction, the management, and the materials. And part of the materials that are being donated to the nonprofit include electronic assisted astronomy devices. So that'll aid in kind of navigating the light pollution. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You want to talk about Magic Charities or no? Yeah, Magic Charity, question about Magic Charities.
It's a charity that helps make sure that children have enough food to eat.
Okay, yeah, thank you. There was a couple references to business associate agreements. There are a few changes we're making to some of the contracts we have with a variety of providers. This is really about making sure that their policies regarding HIPAA are in line with the county policies regarding HIPAA. So just to make sure we're protecting people's health insurance and information data. And the drone program is actually something I think is working with the DA's office, to help with investigations they have. So that's something, obviously, the DA's not here right now, but that's something, obviously, that's covered there. And I do know we have our diversity officer here. I don't know if he wants to comment on the diversity program and how it's been going and maybe what the next phase is. Is that okay, Mr. Gray? You want to touch on that? Or? Oh, you're going to do it? I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, we're doing it later. I apologize. Yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot. I forgot. So we'll get to that later. All right. So, yeah. All right, so moving with the consent agenda, we have minutes from May 3rd, 2023. Are there any comments or questions regarding those minutes? If not, is it okay if we incorporate those with the rest of the consent agenda, which is items 1 through 20? Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right. We will move on to the regular agenda. And we have 3 things we're approving under housing and community development. All of these are connected to Habitat for Humanity and 3 homes that they are building in Croydon. And we do have Nikki Verwoerd, who is here from Housing and Community Development. And she's also going to introduce a little later on Colleen Brink for Habitat.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Nikki Verwoerd, Project Administrator for Bucks County Housing and Community Development. I'm happy to be here today to talk about the partnership between the county and Habitat for Humanity in expanding affordable housing options for Bucks County residents. Since 1990, Habitat for Humanity of Bucks County has assisted over 117 families in becoming homeowners. These families earn between 30% and 80% of median family income of the county and have first mortgages on the home that are affordable to them based on their income. Historically, sales of Habitat homes were structured like a typical open market sale, where buyers could sell the home at market rate and benefit from the full appreciation in value. The homeowner would repay the county subsidy, and the subsidy would then, and the county would then put those dollars to work on a new affordable home. The downside of this model is that once the home is sold, it is no longer affordable for another qualified family, and when Habitat builds a new home, a higher level of subsidy is needed to keep up with the rising home prices. To address this issue, since last year, Habitat has been building homes through a community land trust model. With this model, Habitat applies home investment partnership funding to subsidize the cost of rehab, acquisition, or construction of a new home. The home is sold to a qualified homeowner, but the land is permanently owned by Habitat as a land trust home and is leased to the owner with a 99-year renewable lease. The homeowner controls nearly all aspects of the land and is responsible for maintenance of the house and pays all taxes. If the owner decides to sell or the lease ends, ownership of the home reverts to Habitat and will be sold to another income-qualified family or individual. The community land trust model keeps homes permanently affordable, which over time will dramatically expand homeownership opportunities for low and moderate income families and individuals in Bucks County. Habitat is here today to talk about their latest project utilizing this model, St. Thomas Court. I would like to introduce Colleen Brink, Director of Marketing and Outreach with Habitat Bucks, to say a few words. Thank you.
Well, on behalf of Habitat for Humanity of Bucks County and the households we serve, I would like to express our gratitude for the support of our county commissioners. The county's generous allocation of HUD home funds helps us fill in the gaps between our cost of construction and our homeowners' mortgages. These past years have been very challenging for our homeownership program. With the scarcity of land and the escalating cost of real estate, it's been even harder for Habitat to find viable properties to purchase. Yet, at the same time, we know there are so many lower-income families struggling to afford even substandard rental housing that they live in. As a way of example, for our upcoming St. Thomas Court development, which you see on the screen, 3 homes, we had over 41 applicants. The need for affordable homes far exceeds the supply. Homeownership is often out of reach, even to professionals such as healthcare workers, teachers, and EMS workers. Shouldn't the people that make our communities thrive be able to afford to live here? Until now, Habitat Bucks has been addressing this need one household at a time. That is why we made a strategic decision, and going forward, we will only sell homes under the new homeownership model, shared equity through a land trust. As was mentioned, this model provides permanent affordability, preserving the homeowner's initial investment while also providing future generations with continued access to affordable homes. We are thrilled to soon be breaking ground on the 3 single-family homes on the site of the former St. Thomas Aquinas School in Croydon. This means we will be replacing an aging, empty building with energy-efficient 3 or 4 bedroom Cape Cod-style homes, as you see in the rendering. Each will have its own driveway so as to also alleviate any additional parking concerns. Family selection for these homes should be completed by late June, and we look forward to groundbreaking on St. Thomas Court, and we hope you will join us. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right, so we have 3 items under 21, A, B, and C, for 3 different parcels. Comments or questions from board members? Okay. All right, is there a motion then to approve item 21, A, B, and C, under the regular agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Personnel actions, the commissioners list. Any comments or questions regarding the commissioners list? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Board appointments for the Bucks County Housing Development Corporation, a 3-year term. A new appointment, Ms. Lee Nuno. Her term will end October 1st, 2025. Is there a motion to appoint Ms. Nuno to the Bucks County Housing Development Corporation?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
For other civics, $1,000 contribution to the Delaware Valley Vietnam Veterans, $1,000 contribution to the Magic Charities Foundation, $1,800 to Neshaminy Pass Program, $397.85 for Neshaminy School District Field Trip Program, and $277.94 to another school district, Neshaminy School District Field Trip Program. Is there a motion to approve those contributions?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Operating Officers Report, Ms. McKevitt.
Thank you, Commissioner. First, I just want to thank all of the folks that worked on Election Day yesterday and late into the evening. Tom and Kelly and Gail, led by Gail and Randy, again, thank you. Your time is invaluable. You really do a great job back in the BOE, in the front of the BOE. Thank you. Some of the other departments that have worked there yesterday and throughout the night. Communications Department was there, represented. General Services did a great job. Information Technology, Law Department, Pathonetary was across the street. Our security and our sheriffs, and then the countless volunteers that participated in tearing open those envelopes and making sure. I will say that the comment that we heard the most was the little hole, how much easier it was to open the envelopes and know when to bring things into the problem room. So thank you for that. That was a good addition to it. And then second, I'd like to invite Laura Lomax and Bernard Griggs to the podium to talk about our diversity inclusion program that we have been working on for a number of years now, and we're entering into the next phase.
Thank you, Margie, and thank you, Commissioners. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bernard Griggs, Project and Diversity Officer here at the County of Bucks. And as Project and Diversity Officer, I oversee capital projects in cooperation with multiple county departments and agencies as assigned by the Chief Operating Officer. Assignments include ensuring timely completion of services and deliverables that meet county, state, federal labor standards and requirements. It is also my duty to prepare and maintain a countywide diversity and inclusion program in cooperation with Human Resources and the Law Department. Today, I am here to talk to you about the Bucks County Diversity and Inclusion Program, highlight a few of our diversity and inclusion accomplishments, and to briefly tell you what's on the horizon as it relates to diversity and inclusion. Bucks County is committed to establishing and sustaining an inclusive learning organization that achieves the county's mission, serving Bucks County residents, regardless of economic status, social group, or cognitive and/or physical abilities. Through county-sponsored professional development, individuals and the organization will build knowledge and attitudes, work effectively in a respectful, informed, and results-oriented manner. Some of our accomplishments include an intercultural leadership training program for 20 participants, including senior staff, division leaders, department heads, and the commissioners, that was successfully completed in September of 2020. The Walking While Black Love is the Answer program, where over 1,600 county staff participated in over a 20-week period of time in October of 2020 through February of 2021. Last year, most of my time was spent focused on leading over a half dozen construction projects and developing a foundation for an inclusive county. We established our Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Council, which is a group of 20 volunteers from across the county to help us formulate an approach to inclusion that supports county goals and values. In addition to establishing a Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Council and creating a plan, we began to examine ourselves. How do we communicate and interact with leadership, staff, our coworkers, and clients? We looked at all aspects of diversity and how does our organization support the best performance as we meet our collective goals. We provided professional development workshops tailored for the wide range of departments and learners. Training was live, online, in person, and pre-recorded for 150 managers and 2,000 staff. The learning objectives included raising awareness and developing skills to communicate and behave effectively and appropriately with the variety of people, while providing a range of services across the county. The evaluations from participants were positive and also indicated a desire for more training. Ultimately, as we work collaboratively and respectfully, we sustain a culture of kindness, of cohesion, Should disagreements arise, we have the tools to understand each other and focus on our shared mission to serve our county residents, businesses, and visitors. Working towards a goal-oriented, inclusive workplace takes focus, practice, and organizational culture that encourages learning, structured conversations, and understanding different points of view. We continue this learning journey as we proactively build our individual and organizational competences that result in an inclusive, high-performance organization. At this time, I'm just going to take a minute to bring Laura Lomax up to the podium. Laura's going to say a few words on how, and the work that she does working in collaboration with us here. Laura?
Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, commissioners. Thank you, Ms. McDevitt. And thank you all. I see a lot of familiar faces here. So I am Laura Lomax. I'm the president of Intercultural Works, a Chalfont-based organization that provides individual and organizational professional development programs around effective communication skills and workplace inclusion. While most of my career was spent in healthcare administration, most of which was in correctional facilities, for the past 8 years, I've worked in healthcare, in diversity and inclusion, intercultural communication with healthcare organizations, school districts, law enforcement, banks, and other industries to build individual and organizational communication and inclusion skills. My background is as an intercultural practitioner, and I have a master's in instructional design, which is creating curriculum and training programs. Sorry. So this professional development program is research-based, connects to organizational goals, and meets learners where they are. As we continue this year to build the knowledge and skills of leaders, managers, and general staff for an inclusive learning and organization, we will revisit the theme of getting to know each other's stories, those stories of our coworkers, clients, through awareness, analysis, and action. Instead of using a boilerplate approach to inclusion, I work closely with county stakeholders to examine where we are and where we want to be. Using a guided development approach, we explore individual and group strategies to sustain what Bernard referred to as a culture of kindness. That's something, when I was here this past year, I had about 20 sessions in this very room, and I was just really struck with the kindness from the time I walked in through the metal detectors, to the maintenance guys that helped set up the room, to all the learners, to you all up front. And this idea of building on the strengths, that culture of kindness, is sort of the theme to really engage everyone. So I'll continue to work, oh, I'm sorry, let me go back a little bit. So this includes, it might sound like We Are the World was playing when we first came in, but we're not gonna just sit around holding hands and singing We Are the World. It actually involves best practices, tools, and processes for providing a wide range of services to a wide range of clients across the county. Internally, it means examining ways to recruit, retain great staff, have win-win interactions with coworkers and clients, managing conflict, improving performance, having effective meetings, whether in person or remotely, and the list goes on. I will continue to work closely with Ms. McDevitt, Bernard Griggs, and Randy Miller, as well as the leadership to coordinate the DI Council and working groups. We will build on the existing strengths of the county, people, policies, and processes as we work collaboratively to sustain a respectful and productive workplace. Thank you all so much.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Is that it?
Commissioner, if I could, just in closing, I just want to say that the contract that was approved here today is essentially for Intercultural Works to provide professional services for the next phase of the Bucks County Diversity and Inclusion Program. The professional services provided by Intercultural Works will continue the momentum and the enthusiasm for intercultural learning created over the past year. In collaboration with Bucks County government, Intercultural Works will further strengthen The Inclusive Leadership Foundation, through consultation with the Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Council. Additionally, Intercultural Works will provide the Intercultural Development Inventory Assessment to develop department-specific action plans. In coordination with the Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Council and department managers, the Intercultural Works will begin a deeper analysis of data, policies, and practices and actions. So that concludes our report, and I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Comments or questions from Mr. Griggs or Ms. Lomax?
No, I like that idea of a culture of kindness. You just can't say it any other way. That's what it needs to be.
And thank you for all the work. I know Randy, obviously, and the whole committee that you guys have formed here have been really working very, very hard, and so we really do appreciate it.
Yes, and I'd be remiss if I didn't just acknowledge the 20-person advisory council. Randy Miller, who oftentimes is my right hand as the director of training and outreach, and just the good work that folks are part of the diversity and inclusion program have just sort of rolled up their sleeves to really just do what's right by folks and just make this place a happier place.
Great.
So,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Laura and Bernard, I appreciate it, and Randy, in this next phase of creating a kinder and community of belonging here in the county. We're looking forward to the next phase. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Solicitor's report.
Thank you, Commissioner. I just have one item to report. The board held its standing executive session on Monday, May 15th with staff and legal counsel to discuss personnel matters, strategy regarding collective bargaining agreement negotiations, and also to receive confidential legal advice about both pending and prospective litigation. And that completes my report.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to public comments. First name on the list here, Ed Mackhouse.
And Mackhouse, again, Buckingham, former teacher, scientist. I'd like to commend all the good things that people are trying to do to help out. The big problem is, like, affordable housing. We had a babysitter, she was from Philly, and someone put a gun to the head of her son. So she had to go out and abandon their homes in Philly. So people abandoning their homes in Philly because of the high crime due to the Soros. I'm Jewish. Soros isn't what I consider a good Jew. I think he's more into money, and you drive the people out, you allow the crime in the cities, and that lowers the property value so the rich, big people can buy up the property and make high-rise things out of it. So I think that Black Lives Matter wanted to help people, but a lot of those people didn't engage in the crime, but I think it was instigated to undermine the cities, and the high crime rate, progressive crime rate in these big cities impacts us because they steal cars in the city and they come out here and impact us. So the shutting down the schools like the teachers union, the right to know request and stuff indicates that they were involved, and it wasn't so bad here, but Bucks County and Philadelphia, they're still retarded from that. The gays against grooming, there's J6 political prisoners. They were evidence. There was no organized, it was an organized government plot. It's believed in Gateway Pundit. Look that up. Look up the things, and let's have balance between the treatment of the J6 people and the Black Lives Matter people, who were 800 who were released in Philadelphia. Thank you very much.
Okay. Scott Vogan.
Scott Vogan, Warrington Township. I asked this question last month. I think it slipped through the cracks. When are the audits of the township tax collectors going to be concluded, particularly that of Warrington? And will that results be made public without having a right to know request? Second, The Board of Elections right now is judges. We all know that. They are the substitute teachers are acting. They're not going to do anything major. Your Board of Elections needs to have a year-round policy. 1 month ago, the Warrington tax collector, who's given nothing but problems, and everyone knows that, walked up to my inspector of election and started saying, you need to argue with him and override him. This is before I was told not to sit due to health reasons, which I do intend to sit as judge of elections in the fall. This is why the Board of Elections needs to be aggressive, because that could have created a major problem on election day if an inspector is arguing with the judge. We've already had her try numerous times to subvert me in the room. We can't wait till election day, and there has to be a strategy. She should never be allowed in a poll room. Second, the lady who sat in for me, we're diversity and all that, I have a deaf machine inspector. She would not let him do his job. In fairness to Kelly, well, Kelly kind of knew what was going on in that township. And it is one party, and Kelly pointed this person, so we'll give Kelly the benefit of the doubt. But when she was being that rude and saying to this deaf machine inspector, you can't do it because you're deaf, which is total nonsense in my opinion, as a disabled person, that individual should never be allowed to be an election official. I know you're short. I know it's hard to find them. But when their election officials are under attack, you're not going to find them. And it doesn't help when a commissioner says, we're not going to defend election officials. And when Kelly Gale says, last Monday, go hire your own attorney, that doesn't help. You need to protect them. This guy.
Okay. Thank you. Beth Curcio.
Mr. Harvey, because you say vaccines are safe, it doesn't mean they are. You've done no research. You just take orders. You're very good at it. You would be great as the soldier when the Von Trapps were caught, because you would have called the Nazis. You do nothing. You just take orders. Commissioners, you knew the meeting before was going to be at 2 o'clock, and you put the agenda up at 10:30, which is 24 hours. You caused like 6 or 7 people a lot of hassle coming here this morning, and they didn't come back. That's another way to silence the public. Just because the previous didn't do it, you could have made the announcement last time. Being on the website isn't good enough. We stay up late at night going over these agendas. I wonder when all the county employees will realize the human suffering that is caused by all this money laundering into mental illness. You never solve a problem. You just keep throwing money at it. These drugs are bad on children. I have a huge circle of influence. I have a huge family. You sit and watch a 10-year-old struggle from Tourette's and especially one whose father was killed. It's disgraceful. Vaccines are dangerous and they haven't helped anything. No one dies of the chickenpox. Children didn't die of COVID. Do you wonder? Your commercial transparency in your public meetings and your commercial was a joke. You have no meetings open to people that they come at night in town halls. I'm working on about 2 hours worth of sleep because then I had to do my work in the morning and run around. These things are totally unnecessary. You silence the people. Thank you.
Okay. To address some of the issues here, in terms of audits of tax collectors, those are done sort of, we find out kind of when they come in. Is that the controller does it? It's the controller's office who actually audits tax collectors. So that's not us. Okay. Judge of elections, certainly this is the first I've heard of a judge of elections who has perhaps treated somebody in a discriminatory manner. We'll certainly take a look at that. Anybody who's working, if they have some kind of disability, I agree with you. If someone has a hearing disability, there's no reason why they can't be a machine inspector. But I don't. Again, first we're hearing this, and we're not in charge, obviously, of the Board of Elections, and so we can certainly take a look at that issue. So, if that's accurate, we appreciate you bringing that to us. I think that's all I really need to comment on. The other thing, at least for me, anyway. And the comments or questions from board members.
Are you doing commissioner comments or?
Yeah, we'll do that next. Yeah. Okay. So we'll move on. Commissioner comments. Commissioner DiGirolamo.
I just want to add to what our COO said about our Board of Elections yesterday. and everybody that helped out. They just did a terrific job. The mail-in ballots were actually reported right after 8 o'clock, the ones that they had in. They did just a terrific job. I was down there a couple times during the day, and I just want to commend Tom and all the staff and everybody who helped out and volunteered. I mean, I couldn't ask for any more yesterday, the job that they did. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Marseglia?
Generally, I have tried not to respond to some of the public comment, but I do feel, because we do want to have a culture of kindness, I do want to apologize to the public for a comment that referenced people as being a good Jew, and also for a comment where people were referred to as blacks. That's not appropriate, and I want to apologize for it.
Thank you. There's a couple of things just to talk about. And certainly, you know, with Election Day being yesterday, there's a reference made to people being tired, and I guess it's certainly something that, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess fatigue is something that can hit people in different ways, and so it's, you know, affects people in the way they think sometimes, the way they act, so we accept that if that's an apology for behaving a certain way. We get it. Just want to comment on Memorial Day, which is coming up. It's our last meeting before Memorial Day, and want to thank, obviously, those who serve this country, who have served this country. Memorial Day, you know, oftentimes this does get confused with Veterans Day, and this, of course, is different. You know, Memorial Day is really to remember those who did not come home, who paid the ultimate sacrifice going back, even before, you know, we were a country, you know, with the first couple of battles of the Revolution. There are people who laid their lives on the line, of all ages, of all colors, different genders. It is ridiculous to think that there weren't people who had different orientations who were killed throughout the course of this country's history, defending it, and different political parties. In some cases, no political party, different religions. You know, we recognize, we celebrate these people who passed away. Not individually, not separately, like we only, you know, remember those who died who voted for Democrats, or we only remember those who died who were, you know, Catholic, or no, they were all Americans. They put on the uniform of one of the branches of service of this country, and whether they lost their lives here at home in accidents or some other kind of issue, or they, you know, lost their lives overseas in combat, you know, they gave their lives for this country, and so we honor their memory. We keep their families and their friends who still remember them in our hearts and our minds. And we ask that when you celebrate Memorial Day, don't just think of it just as the unofficial beginning of summer, and you know, barbecues and cornhole and everything, all the other good things that go along with that weekend. But we just take a moment and think about those people who aren't there to celebrate those things. So I want to thank everyone for putting together this meeting and all the work that goes into it. Echo the, you know, praise for our Board of Elections staff and all the people from all the different departments who worked so hard over the past 24 hours to get the count in. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.